What's happening right here? It's the front lines of the biggest war we face as a working class. And that's the class war that's been going on between working people and corporate greed for decades.
After a century of operation, Case New Holland announced plans to shut down its manufacturing plant in Burlington, Iowa, cutting over 200 union jobs and devastating the community.
President Trump promised to bring jobs back, to lift wages of workers, to lower costs. None of that stuff is happening, but right now we are imploring this administration to put an end to plant closures in this country.
In the past 4 years, this company has made $8.7 billion. They've given Wall Street $3.3 billion in dividends and buybacks. What do the workers who make the product that generates those profits get? I'll put it bluntly, we get fucked.
This plant has been the backbone of Burlington, but they don't give a damn. And we are not going to take plant closures while they get stock buybacks.
My 2-year-old and my 3-year-old will be impacted in the education system here. Without that tax revenue coming into the community, classroom sizes continue to grow. Services like the ones that my son needs for being deaf and hard of hearing are the first ones that get fucking cut. And that really makes me mad.
They're sending the rest of the work to a non-union plant. What do they want most? They want to be out of the union business.
No company making billions of dollars should be closing a plant anywhere. This company told us just last week they're closing this plant because it'll save them just under $17 million a year. They want to drop an economic bomb on the Burlington community for less than 1 percentage point of their profits.
I don't care what color of hat you wear, whether it's red or blue, all must demand. Case New Holland, you are not going to devastate another working class town.
The handful of greedy son of a bitches at the top want more for themselves. Because $100 million for the CEOs and billions of dollars for the shareholders, it's still not enough. These bastards want it all. Fuck them. We're not out to wreck the economy. We're out to wreck their economy. Because their economy only works for the billionaires and the corporate class, and it leaves everybody else in the ditch.
Let's kind of recap on what happened during the election, so at least we could see why we're here.
4 more years! 4 more years! 4 more years! 4 more years! 4 more years!
This is what they were excited for. They wanted 4 more years of Trump. And now look, it's not even been a year and we're in this position. I mean, this is the find out stage. What did they think would happen? Yeah, you could say it doesn't matter whether it's your hat is red or blue. Yeah, but at the end of the day, y'all chose a particular party that is causing the hurt that you're feeling right now. You know what's funny to me is that there are people that knew Trump's a liar and then are now shocked that he lied. I don't understand how hard was it for Americans to understand Trump is a business wealthy rich man. Why would he ever be on the side of the working class?
Every time that Trump has taken office, it has been high stress for our family because they are constantly wanting to take an ice pick to the Affordable Care Act. And I just don't understand why. We're talking about a tiny amount of our budget that goes to providing something so crucial for families. It's wild to me that people who receive huge subsidies for their health insurance, Congress, are constantly trying to take away ours.
Trump just told Congress not to waste time on ACA tax credits. But without them, many Iowa families will soon pay double for their health insurance. That's why today Iowans like Amber stood against the MAGA war on healthcare. I have to ask Iowans, is this what you guys were really expecting to happen? Because y'all were so happy about him coming to office and now it's not looking good.
The New York Times just revealed something stunning. Iowa, Trump country, has the worst economy in America, and it's not even close. This is a state that voted for Barack Obama twice, then went all in for Trump, and now they're getting crushed by the very policies they voted for. The promise: Trump is going to fight for American farmers.
Under the next Trump administration, we will have a rebirth of loyalty to the American farmer and to the American flag. I will defend you on trade, and if any other country tries to take advantage of our farmers, there will be a very steep price for them to pay.
The reality? Iowa's GDP dropped over 6% in the first quarter, worst in the nation. China, which bought over $12 billion worth of Iowa soybeans last year, stopped buying from America entirely. Where did those sales go? Argentina, the same Argentina Trump just gave a $20 billion bailout to. An 86-year-old Iowa farmer watched Argentine soybeans shipped to China while his family's harvest sat unsold. His grandson's wife put it simply, death by 1,000 paper cuts. The promise, tariffs will protect American jobs.
Why impose tariffs that you know are hurting American businesses?
They're not hurting, they're helping because they're creating jobs in America. And we're creating tremendous amounts of jobs in America like you've never seen.
The reality? John Deere laid off hundreds of workers. Trump's tariffs cost them over $500 million. Fertilizer prices up 14%, equipment costs soaring. Fifth-generation farmer Aaron Lehman is making do with a 25-year-old combine because he can't afford a new one. He's been wondering if his son will even be able to farm for a living. The promise, deporting undocumented immigrants will free up jobs for Americans.
So as we create millions of new manufacturing jobs here in Georgia, nationwide, we will make sure that these jobs go to American citizens, not illegal citizens, people that came into our country illegally. Your wages will rise, your costs will fall, your job opportunities will grow, because we will conduct the largest deportation operation, sadly, in American history.
The reality? Meatpacking plants are hemorrhaging workers. JBS laid off 200 people. Tyson plants losing workers too. Nobody's lining up to take those jobs. Production is down. At La Placita grocery store in Waterloo, business has dropped over 25% in 3 months. Manufacturing down, agriculture crushed, labor shortages everywhere. Iowa voted for this 3 times. The midterms are coming. The question is simple. Will Iowa vote for this again?
I would like to leave the question up to you because deep down, I think they might, because it takes time for some people to learn a hard lesson. But leave your comments down below and let me know what your thoughts are on this. You have to also put blame on the government and our Republican legislation. Reynolds, with the support of the Republican state legislation, have left us in the lurch. Public education losing funding to vouchers, poisoned water, brain drain because of limited opportunities. We will be fighting hard at the midterms. I don't wish bad on any group, any state, any profession. But if you get what you voted for, that's not on me, that's on you.
Food companies, we've coddled them. We've made it so enticing for them to be here. And then the second we hit any turbulence, we have nothing to show for it. We're one of the worst economies in the country. Our water quality is bad. We've depleted our land and resources just for them to fire people the second things get a little ugly.
The main pillars of our economy in Iowa, you got agriculture, manufacturing, meatpacking. They're all being hit by different Trump policies that are making them tumble and fall. We're not seeing that economic growth that we were promised by Trump. I mean, a lot of us know that he's a snake oil salesman, but some people really believed in those policies and really believed that outcomes were going to be good. And there's no way to say that things are going well right now for Iowa's economy or for our workforce.
If you all knew he was a snake oil salesman, that should have been like the dead giveaway. As J-Rock said, snakes used to have feet, that's why I have trust issues. Well, Kim Reynolds keeps giving tax incentives for corporations to come in, and we have nothing to show for it except higher taxes. Y'all need to get that lady out of there, because clearly she ain't helping. Trump's tariff plans are working well to our benefit. It needs time to all come together for the end result. Instead of blaming Trump, why not blame the manufacturers like John Deere that have moved production facilities to Mexico? We would all be so much worse off Kamala was in charge.
You sure about that?
I cannot answer a question if you're screaming.
Well, a lot of them are the same, so I'm just trying to get to as many topics as we can today. Good job. Kevin from Davenport is talking about the tariffs, and he says it's killing us on the farm. The price of soybeans is below production costs, and corn too. Why are we supporting Argentina?
First and foremost, farmers are suffering from high input costs, which occurred when we had record high inflation under the Biden administration. CPI went up to 9%. The farm economy has, I speak with farmers very routinely. I meet them on their farm, and farmers have told me about the egregious trade practices They talked about the high input cost. In 2023, farmers were telling me that they were stressed that high input costs were a problem, whether it's fertilizer, whether it's pesticide, fungicide, seed, and especially when we have precision ag and trying to limit the amount of those things. They were functioning under high input costs. So we know that the farm economy has been stressed. It's why we work very hard with the incoming administration to increase the RVOs so that there would be more markets for grain products and grain commodities. Not only working the RVO increase this year under Lee Zeldin has been over 2 decades since there has been any increase in the RVO. It is why we also work very hard on trade agreements, which are continuing ongoing, both within our state and as well as the federal government, which we have not seen in the past 4 years. And it's also why we're working at what we can do with biofuels and have better trade practices with the Chinese Communist Party. So I think I cannot answer a question if you're screaming. So thank you for reminding me about Argentina. There was a loan guarantee given to Argentina. They were not getting money. They were not bailed out. So China then purchased soybean from Argentina, and as we know that the recent trade negotiation with China was that China was going to also purchase soybeans from the United States.
Damn, she's getting cooked.
Yeah, boy.
So she's not even going to address losing export markets because of tariffs. Of course, she's trying to avoid the whole question. She was trying to also forget about Argentina, and people had to remind her because this is how they do it. She blamed Biden, but Biden bailed the farmers out from Trump's first administration. She sucks at lying, and the global inflation due to COVID cannot be blamed on Biden. Wake up, Iowa. I mean, how often are you going to keep using Biden as a crutch? At what point is enough enough?
I think we've all heard what you have to say or what you don't have to say, and I think it's time that we vote you out. Vote her out! 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 Vote her out!
So hell must have frozen over because Marinette Miller Meeks finally showed up for a town hall, but she was not ready to answer any of our questions. She was not ready to explain why the ACA tax credits are being taken away from hardworking Iowans. She's not ready to explain why Medicaid's being taken away from people. She's not ready to explain why we're having this crazy inflationary and tariff economy that's screwing people every which way. And she was not ready to answer any of the other questions that folks had today. So we spoke up, we stood out, we got taken out of the room, but we're going to keep on fighting and make sure people actually have a voice here in Iowa's 1st District.
Anyway, guys, this is what's happening in Iowa. A lot of people in Iowa are really standing on business. Clearly, a lot of them really regret voting for Trump. And look at the Republican representatives just getting cooked out there. And clearly, Iowa has a lot of other problems that they're dealing with. But let me know what your thoughts are on the Iowa situation. Leave your comments down below. If it's your first time to the channel, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And also, check out this video. I'm sure you're definitely going to enjoy it. But nevertheless, I will see you guys when I see you. Peace.